For that, we should all be grateful. But it has also seen many innocent people sent to prison for crimes they did not.
Quite lazy about investigations of often serious incidents because they know at some point in the future they can deploy the law of joint enterprise and they don't necessarily need to get hard evidence against every single one of the people.
Fundamental that our legal system is fair and can be trusted by everyone. It is the cornerstone of our democracy, no matter the background or the colour of one's skin.
With this joint enterprise, we all went along as friends. I was 15 years of age, we were all children. We went along to basically have a confrontation with another group of boys, and it basically ended very negatively. It ended very horrifically, where a young boy who was 16 himself also lost his life. Well, there were 9 of us all together that travelled to this park, but out of 9, 7 of us were actually convicted. So at the time of the incident, I was 15. I then turned 16. I ended up doing the whole 12 years. I had to serve the whole 12 years in prison and then apply for a parole at the age of 28.
2007, I was convicted of murder by joint enterprise. At the time, I was 22 years old. I was a single mother. I was studying to be a midwife. I never had any involvement with the police, never being violent or anything. However, on that night, I went to a pub with my partner and his friends, and there was a disagreement over a taxi, which then escalated into a fight. Because I actually weren't involved in the murder at all. Nobody else was. There was just one person, and that was due to a kick. The man who actually did it pled guilty. So I was on trial for 7 weeks, and I was found guilty of murder by secondary party. And my sentence was 13.5 years with a life sentence. I served 13 years, 11 months in prison.
I'd found out quite a few of us had been arrested for violent disorder. We were asked a lot of questions from detectives about where we were on a day, what we were doing, what did we see, who we were with, etc. Like I say, me myself, I hadn't committed no murder. I haven't stabbed anyone. I didn't witness anyone stab anyone. I didn't even hear anything. And I was sat in a police station, I was sat in a cell. Even though it was quite depressing and stressful, I felt, I kind of felt like I hadn't done anything. So I almost had it's almost like I didn't really care, because I knew deep down I hadn't done anything. And I knew that eventually my name will be cleared, and they will find out what happened, and I'll be okay, I'll be allowed to go home. But having a few conversations with my solicitor, that's when I kind of realised that there was a potential chance that I could literally go down for this. Me being 15, being told I could be sent down for like 15 years, it was quite hard for me to like fathom and accept. My parents were really upset on the news when my solicitor explained to us what joint enterprise was. I think we still try to keep faith and think positively, but I think that was the day that I realised, there are loads of people that have been sent to prison for joint enterprise. They didn't take a life, they didn't hurt anyone, they didn't kill anyone, but they're currently serving large sentences. And yeah, that's when I feel like my life changed.
And I'm not the only one who's been convicted of something like this. There's thousands of people. You don't have to be violent, you don't even have to be there. You can take a phone call, you can send a message, you can be part of a music video, anything. Joint enterprise is so dangerous as it has no guidelines, no solid guidelines around it. So anyone can be convicted and they can tailor it around their own story and narrative for a conviction. And the thing is, even if you haven't killed anybody, you still get done for murder. You still get the life sentence. You still have to do the time in prison, you have to do the full length. And then also when you come out, you still have a life sentence. You are still being punished. There's still guidelines, there's still rules you have to follow, and there's still recall. You can always be recalled to prison.
One of the most shocking things about joint enterprise is literally the fact that you can be convicted of a murder and you could be handed a life sentence. You could be handed a similar sentence or the same sentence as the person that actually takes someone's life. So me, in my actual situation, I wasn't actually there. I wasn't actually present when the stabbing took place. I was 200 meters away from the stabbing. I could prove this in court through CCTV images. With the joint enterprise law, they're not bothered about who's done it. They're more bothered about everyone that's kind of either gone along or had some sort of involvement or kind of been present to the build-up leading up to the crime. This is why joint enterprise is such a damning and such a shocking law.
Whilst I was in prison, my mum, she had breast cancer, and that was terrible, just being inside, not being able to help, knowing that she's going through all that. It was, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but luckily she survived.
Whilst I was in prison, you know, I missed out on a lot of things. I missed going on holidays with my family. You know, I missed going to the beach. I missed like playing in the snow, just things like that, because those are the things I was doing, you know, when I was a teenager. I've been out for a year and a half. I'm nearing 30. It wasn't until I came out of prison that I realized, you know, I'd missed like a large chunk of my life. I didn't get to attend prom. You know, I didn't get to go to university. There was a lot of things I hadn't done, a lot of like milestones that I missed in my life. I'm mature, but I felt like there's a lot of life skills that I lack due to the fact that I was, you know, I had to mature into a man in prison rather than live a normal life and experience normal things. So yeah, I feel like joint enterprise did rob me of my childhood and I missed out on a lot of things.
And I've been out 3 years now, and it's very difficult. Life's changed a lot, things have changed a lot, family has changed a lot, everything has changed. It's quite difficult to get a job, you know, because of my conviction, even though I've never been violent before. The moment I disclose my conviction, nobody wants to employ you. My son, when I went to prison, well, he's got Asperger's syndrome. He didn't understand how I could have been convicted of murder if I've not murdered anybody. I mean, I don't even understand myself, but for somebody with Asperger's, it was quite difficult. And so I've lost that relationship. He was 6 years old when I went to prison, and he's now 22, the age I was when I went to prison.
I finally got my parole. I managed to lower all my risks and complete all my courses whilst in prison. I've been out for a year and a half. In the year and a half I've been out, I've literally been working within the law reform sector. So I've worked with organisations like Howard League, who work specifically in like the youth justice system, trying to get justice for youths in custody. I also work alongside JENGbA, Joint Enterprise Not Guilty by Association. And JENGbA are a charity formed of mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters of victims who have been sent to prison for joint enterprise. They help a lot of people in prison, you know, they're almost there as like moral support. People can ring the office if they have any issues, any queries. And we're always like promoting who we are, you know, so whether you're in a Cat A prison, Cat B prison, whether you're in a prison in London, a prison in Yorkshire, a prison in Ipswich, you know, the JENGbA family is always there to support, and as long as we can find a way to contact you, we will always help and provide you with anything you need.
So since I've come out, I've become involved with the campaign JENGbA. I've done public speaking about that. I did public speaking at the House of Commons. That was with support of MP Barry Shearman.
Since I've been working with JENGbA, we've done a lot of amazing things. We've actually managed to get the joint enterprise doctrine back into Parliament for the MPs and the Lords to kind of, you know, speak over again, almost review. And we've put to the government that the law really needs to be reviewed. It's almost like a drag net. You throw a net over a group of people. You know, in doing so, you do find the culprit guilty, but at the same time, you also drag down a lot of innocent people. This is something that's going on, you know. The government aren't gonna talk about it as much, but you know, we use our own platforms, whether it be social media, whether it be the internet, whether it be podcasting or radios. We still have a long way to go. Me, myself, you know, I've finished my time, I've done my 12 years. I had a choice to either come out and fight, or I had a choice to just carry on and live my life, but I felt so hard done by this sentence due to the fact that I didn't commit the crime. Yeah, I won't quit until we're done, and one day we'll get justice. I might not be able to get the time back, but I can definitely help or play a part in the law being abolished so no one else has to go through what I've been through. That is our aim as JENGbA.